Yeah, no intro needed. But we're going to let this room fill up, though. We're going to let this thing fill all the way up. Cowboy Nation, one way or another. Yeah, hit that subscribe button. Share this thing. We live like 95, baby. I got my guy Corey in the house, man.
Yo, what's good?
Yeah,
What's good?
yeah.
Pleasure to be here, man.
Oh, man. I'm glad to pull for you.
The busiest man in the nation. Law Nation.
Yeah, the nation never sleep,
You
baby.
like the Kevin Hart of the Cowboys, man. You're everywhere.
Yes, man. I'm trying to be, man. Somebody that probably can pull up Twitter and MySpace, and you probably see my face. You know what I mean? Yes, indeed, man. And a lot of people fail to realize that we don't like the Cowboys. That's the craziest thing.
They don't know.
We love the Cowboys. So
That's a
even
fact.
when we chastise them, even when we talk down about them or bad about them, it's coming from a place of love, you know. And it's
Always.
also to counteract Stephen A's of the world, the Shannon Sharps, because they got a chance to echo their thoughts and their opinions out to the masses. And
Right.
they have no counter objective or no counter argument. Because who Max Kellerman?
Yeah.
well, Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman, they on the same page, but Skip Bayless, come on now.
Right.
That's to be their voice of reason.
Beyond that, it's certain things
Yeah.
that they can't say because when you making content for
Uh-huh.
for ratings is a little different. Like we kind of can say what we want, whereas they have certain guidelines they got to stick to. So some of those narratives don't even come from them. It come from a production meeting or something like that.
Right.
Everybody votes on what we're going to talk about and who's going to be good cop, who's going to be bad cop on this one.
Yeah.
'Cause they can't take the same position. They can't just all agree across the board all the time. And then it's not really enough contrast to keep somebody watching. You know what I mean?
Yes,
So
indeed.
that's what type time they be on. But when we go, we kind of just let ourselves fly off the cuff. So people just got to understand that though. But yeah, I say the same thing to people. I had to say that on Twitter too. Like I'm not, I don't make content to hate. Like people want
Right.
to throw Dak under the bus all the way now. I'm like, I asked the guy to make progress and he's made it. So why would I attack him now?
Right.
Why would I attack him?
Why should you get rid of him now? For
Right.
somebody else to benefit from this guy who can barely
Right.
hit water if he fell off a boat is year 1, year 2, and year 3. And now
Right.
all of a sudden we seeing that, yeah, he got better foot placement and also he putting the ball right on the money at times. Now he
Right.
still have some room to grow. And then
Of course.
I'll be idiotic to say that the guy's the next Joe Montana or Troy Aikmans of the world as it relates to his accuracy. He
Right.
still got a lot to grow on, and I
Right.
would like to tell a lot of Cowboy fans too that put Amari Cooper in his high ceiling over the window. He still got room to grow. Amari
Yeah.
Cooper, as much as I love him, if you want to shut down Amari Cooper, you punch him in his mouth early and you shatter his confidence, and you will
Yep.
see the Amari Cooper of the Raiders land. But Amari
Right.
Cooper, when you get him the ball early, when you put him out in space, man, you
Yep.
look up and say, man, this thing is the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah,
So-
when you don't press them.
Yeah,
You know,
but
prep-
but
Gotcha.
you can't get this type of flavor from anybody else because we're gonna be raw, real, and uncut. It's 11 o'clock where you at, Okoye. It's 10 where I'm at. The kids should be in bed, so feel free to talk however you want to talk. It's no filter right here. It's unsugar-coated. The name of the show today is Who Are the Dallas Cowboys?
That's a fact.
Mm.
Right now, man, it ain't looking too good, man. I won't even lie. Like I don't the identity wise. Like I'm not even just talking about the loss, man. I just like we were just saying. I was watching the film for over the last 4 games. I started with Minnesota and worked my way forward. I've even watched the entirety of the Lions game again too, even though we won that one.
Mhm.
And it's not just defense. I'm not really even coming at the defense. I'm talking about the play selection offensively.
Mhm.
In a lot of cases, we get away with a lot of things that other teams won't even try to do.
Right.
Like if you look at what we do at the beginning of drives where we start deep in our own territory,
Mhm.
I took notice of it in the Patriots game. And then I said, let me go back and just look and see if we were continuously doing this, or was this just us trying too hard and reaching for too much against the Patriots? But no, we do it all the time.
Mhm.
We'll be in our own territory. And I remember they used to not let Romo do this, but we'd be in our own territory and we'll be spreading them out, throwing the ball all over the place, right? And I'm like, it's a wonder why we get, turnovers in our own territory and give teams short fields. And it's because you don't you might do it every once in a while. Like
Right.
we've had 92. You don't get 90-yard throw passes without throwing the ball a little bit in your own territory. So sometimes it's there. But I think we are a little too aggressive on that end of the field and a little too pretty on that end of the field too. Like we don't really play it safe when we don't protect the ball well enough with our play selection
Yeah,
when
man.
our backs are against the wall. And we just been getting away with it.
You've been
And
getting away with it.
yeah.
I think off camera, right before we started, we was driving right into that talk or conversational piece about, man, they are creative. We are seeing that, but
Yeah.
everything don't match up well with one another. You'll see a bunch of eyes, you see all five, what have you, and then you say, whoa, 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 do what got you there. All of a sudden, you see a shotgun formation.
Right.
Spread it out. And then I'm not sitting here saying that Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in this planet or on this planet. But whenever you have 355 passing yards, right? We have 355 passing yards. That should equate or equivalent at least, at minimum, 3 touchdowns, you see.
Right.
Or 2 touchdowns and maybe a bunch of field goals. But at the main thing, I would want to see if you get 355 or you get 400 yards, that should at least equate or equivalent to 3 touchdowns.
Right.
What we're looking at when you look at stats, it can kiss you at one moment and it can hurt you and bite you in the other piece of that same moment. And when we look at the Dallas Cowboys having all of these gang of yards, we having issues as it relates to money zone, green zone, red zone. Now, we can talk about execution. We can talk about formation. But what I can tell you right now is that when we get into that money zone, we just go like, I don't know what else to do. Break down what you think,
over
man.
and over again, man. Like when you just all you guys got to do. Like I'll show you. I'll give you all the key to this. Right. Watch what we do when we get to the 30. We did it against New England when we got to the 25. We ran that double reverse, and I'm like, why do we keep running cute shit when we get to the 25 in their territory? We're in their territory. I mean, we in 4 down territory. Smack the ball up and just so we can keep possession, run the ball. And if you're going to run it, don't run Zeke side to side. Run him straight at the line, man, and put hats on hats. We don't do that. We get cute and start running diagonally, or we do a reverse. Every time we get to the 30, I've watched it in like 3-4 games already. It's our play of choice. Now, we might switch it up a little bit, change the window dressing, might change the formation. The jet sweeper or the reverse guy might be Tavon one week. It might be Cobb next, or it might be Pollard. But they do it every time. So if you watch and film, you don't really have to. It ain't a guy you keying in on. It's a play style you keying in on. It's like they're gonna go right here. They're gonna go with a reverse right here, and they do it every time, bro. Every time we get.
But you know what? You know what would solve all of that? You know what would solve all of that?
Running the ball was he just run.
Even if you look up the analytics, if you do your own homework and you look up the analytics and it shows you right there and say, hey.
Yeah, because Gary said, we don't need the analytics.
He said we don't need it. But
here's out of pocket, man.
That's out of pocket, man. That expeditiously, he need to figure out using that analytics. He need to find a way, bro.
At the end of the day, man, I was watching that because I was like, man, the way we've been using Zeke. At the end of the day, man, it don't make much sense for us to say Zeke not performing when you look at the style of runs that we run him out of, the formations we run him out of, and the way the line is playing when they run. Like Zeke is literally he's peeking through holes, not because he tiptoeing, not because he don't got no burst at all, because he got enough burst to do something.
Right.
Peeking through holes because he know that those linebackers on that second level and those safeties, they're untouched. They flowing over the top, choosing what hole he going. And our line, only thing they're doing, they're pass blocking, while stepping forward a little bit. That's what they're doing when we run block. There's nobody putting their head down, staying low, and driving people off the ball. The defensive line hits us, and we just weather the storm. And if we block what we would call good this season, good blocking, run blocking this year would be we didn't fall down or we didn't give up. We didn't let somebody shoot a gap. That's not run blocking. That's zone blocking. Like we need to get off the ball. We got maulers for blockers, and they're not allowed, or they just don't move forward. When you see a run block and your guys are extending their arms, that's a pass block. If I'm pushing a guy off me, I'm not supposed to push you off me. They want you in. You want them close to you, or you want to get them on the ground. They'll bench press a guy off of him, and he's free to back up and go flow to the play. He should not. If I touch you as a blocker, your man should never get into that play. Yes, that's your job. If they two gapping on you, or they allowed to, disengage. I know defense's job is to do that, but every play, like if you watch our plays, just look at the defense and look where they at. They're very rarely on the ground, except for the Patriots game. We actually started off running the ball and was smacking them in their face. But other than that, nah. When you watch these games, man, it will annoy you. Between the tens, meaning or between the 30s, we okay. Like we can get up the field. We always in our opponent's territory. But when we get over there, we if you throw 3 straight passes in your opponent's territory, you've already let yourself know, and you let them know that your options are nil. You're not going for it on 4th down because it's going to be 4th and long. Run
forever.
the ball. Slow it down once you get up there and run the ball. If you want through a trick play or two, do it at the 50. Do it at the 40 of your own territory. But don't wait till you get in their territory every time and do the same thing, man.
Yes, indeed, man. Good call from my guy, Collier. Let me just do a quick house call, man. Shout out to Jay Reese for making the donation to help grow the nation, man. I'm going to put your question at the end of it, but I just want to give a shout out to everybody that's on Facebook right now. Jay, Rich, and also my girl, Tamara. Really appreciate you for tuning in. Gambino, appreciate you for being in the house. And who else we have? Andrea, really appreciate you. Nicholas, and as well as Jason Garrett, he's in here. Jamestown, and Paul Brown. Man, we got some legends up in here, bro. Hey, Michael.
Paul Brown and Jason Garrett.
Michael Bennett had some choice words to say after the game, and Jay Reese want to know what do you think about it? Calling out, the team and some of the other players and coaching staff. What do you feel about that?
I think when you look at the type of guy he is, and what we talked about when we got him, I think that's what he was really brought in for moments like that, because he's been here before. He knows when a team is letting it slip, and he wouldn't be a veteran or much of a good one if we just brought him in here to bring pressure. If he was just there to bring pressure past rush the passer, that's a bad pickup. We brought him in there because he's one of those locker room guys that's meant to do that everyone on this team, black or white, will respect because of where he's been. You got to respect. Even Witten will listen to Michael Bennett because he's been there. You got to respect that.
Right.
Respect that. He's been in winning organizations. He knows what winning looks like, and he knows when a team is just letting it slip. We just showing up for games, man. And it's not just, like I said, it's simpler than it seems. But when he said if you are resistant to change, that was the key right there. We're not changing our game plan offensively at all. We do what we do, and that's it. We play the way we play. We're throwing on 1st down. We're throwing consistently on 3rd and short. Man. 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, 3rd 2. That's running territory, man. We throw consistently from 3rd and 5 or less. Consistently. I mean, if you pick 10 plays, 8 of them going to be passes if they was 3rd and short. 2 of them get run. And even the runs that we run will be a zone read. And they have this play, bro.
Right.
Against Minnesota. Watch Minnesota. The last 2 drives against Minnesota, Zeke is literally lined up in the backfield, but it's really empty backfield because he's lined up right behind Tyron Smith. So the Minnesota Vikings know he ain't running the ball. They know you're trying to cheat him out so he can beat somebody to the flat because he's not beating them from his true position at the shotgun. So they put him right behind Tyron Smith. Like literally his feet are lined up with Tyron Smith. He ain't running from all the way over there. You know it already. So why would we be running empty backfield plays consistently when we're 10 yards off the end zone, man?
I can tell you why. I mean, a lot of times this stuff comes from experience, right? I mean, a lot of times we look at it, Kellen Moore, he is what he is when you look at it collectively. He's a quarterback. And then all of a sudden he was a quarterback coach, and then he's now an offensive coordinator. You're going to do what you did, what you know that you can succeed on. He don't know how to run the ball. He's looking at it like this. In order to push this ball down the field, I'm going to have to throw passing formations in there. And that's what we're seeing.
Man, that's a fact, but here's the narrative that nobody wants to really talk about and nobody's saying. But watch this, man. Pay attention. Jerry Jones, and what you think of this too? Jerry Jones not paying Zeke is hurting this team. And I mean, not Zeke, but Dak is hurting this team.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Because they're putting Dak in a position where he's trying to play out his stats so he can get his contract. I'm not saying they're playing selfishly, but when you got somebody that's reaching for his glory at this point, they're trying to get him to do too much in the red zone. He's trying to do everything in the red zone. We're throwing the ball in the red zone the majority of the time. That's when you slow ball it. Like you slow it down. Now you might sneak a run, throw in there, here, there, or you might have to spread a team out, certain teams. So for a while, I didn't say anything about it. But when you're consistently running out of the shotgun when you 3 yards off the ball, that is too cute. And we're doing it all the time. Why? Because we trying to get Dak his contract. If Jerry had already paid Dak, we wouldn't be playing for Dak's contract. We'd be playing for wins.
Yeah,
and we would
you,
doing whatever it takes to win.
You wouldn't have these conversation about, should we pay this and it's always a talk. It's always a distraction. It's always that, because you never know what that person have inside. Here's the thing, what makes it different from when Joe Flacco was able to do it. You see, the difference was that Joe Flacco wasn't the emotional leader. He wasn't the vocal leader. He wasn't the leader of that team. That team still belonged to Ray Lewis. And everybody knows.
So he wasn't going to get away with that.
Yeah, he wasn't going to get away with it. And then they had this other guy who beat up women, whatever his name is, Ray Rice. I forgot his name. Yes, Ray Rice. They had him. So they had pieces around Joe Flacco. And all Joe had to do is manage the game. They had special team play that was off the charts.
But that ain't going to get him paid, though. See,
right. They had special teams off the chart. I forgot this dude's name, but he was real small, man. And he was running all the way back all the time, and he always flipped.
Jacoby Jones.
Yeah, man, that boy. He just when he caught that pass, I think it was against the Denver Broncos. I said, man, over the top, because Joe Flacco did. He had an arm. He had a strong arm, and he was able to just pass
launch
it
it
to
up
him.
there, man. And that's it.
Yeah,
you're exactly right.
Yeah, so this situation, Okoye, is a whole lot different, because now they asking Dak Prescott to be everything. Minus when Ezekiel is not getting his thing going. Minus when Amari Cooper's not getting his thing going at certain times and certain sparks of the game. And then on top of that, if you look at the last two games, see, this is what kills me with the Dallas Cowboys, and nobody really want to talk on these things. When we are able to run, we start passing. When we are able to pass, we start running. You see, everything about these last two games supposedly belongs to Ezekiel, the main man, Elliott. But we already know, if we go all the way back, and I'm not saying the Cowboys are trying to do this, but I recall a certain Super Bowl that they got tired of Marshawn Lynch, and they said, we're going to get down there to the one, and we're going to force feed it with Russell. You see? And I don't think did Russell get his contract after that, or he had some money before that. Let me know.
He might have got it after that. I'm not sure, but it's the same feeling. I do know that.
Right, it's the same type of vibe. Yeah.
And I was saying the same thing. That's exactly what I felt. And I think that, like, this contract is killing Zeke's numbers because of two things. Zeke had a part to play in that behind the scenes, because you hold out while Dak trying to get his bread when it's not your time to get bread yet. So Zeke held out. And that hold out, like, okay, Dak, like, okay, you got your check. Now it's time for me to get mine. So I think behind the scenes, I think Kellen is pushing, trying to help Dak get his money, man. Right. And I really do believe that that's what it is, because some of the play calls don't even remotely make sense. And it's like, yeah, he was a part of this organization. Now, the things that Linehan did do right, he knew how to run the ball, and knew when to run the ball, and when to give Zeke the ball, and he knew who was hot when they were hot. Now, he didn't always design plays to get that man the ball. He was kind of relying on talent a little too much. Kellen uses a lot more window dressing than him, and a lot of that cute, pretty stuff that he does is good for, us getting up the field. He hides men, and he hides Cobb real well when we getting up the field. Once we get within the 30 or across the 50-yard line, it's time to slow it down and pound the ball. We don't even make teams feel it. When I say feel it, even when we score, all you did was run up the field. You just got some cardio, and we not making you feel it. I mean, our linemen not making you feel it. We not letting Zeke pound the ball enough to make you feel it. We giving you too much time to recover. If you watch from the Lions, from the Vikings game on, the Vikings, the way you beat a team like that, the way you beat the Patriots, the way you beat good teams, you're not going to trick them. Stop trying to trick them. You got to out physical a good team. That means you got to just bring it and take it to them. And that's the only thing that's going to get over a guy like Barr or a guy like Hightower or Collins. You got to hurt them. You got to hurt them. Yeah. You got to hit them and hurt them. And when we started off the Patriots game, I said, that's what we doing. We hurting them. But when you run Zeke one time for every 5 or 6 throws, you just sprinkle one in, Zeke, and that forces Zeke to try to get too much. Because now Zeke, no, I'm not getting this ball back unless I pick up 5 yards. So now he looking for he's standing there looking for something big instead of just taking what he gets sometimes because he know he got to. He know he ain't getting that ball back. He ain't getting it again.
Let's recap this situation right quick. That big play that Ezekiel Elliott got is 34 yards against the previous team. Buffalo, yeah. Had a mind slip. He had 34. I'm thinking about the Patriots. Yeah, mind slip, man.
Trauma too, man.
Look, Thanksgiving food, man, was good, but the leftovers was just horrible today, man. I couldn't even enjoy it because every time I look up, I say, God, dog, man, I can't even really enjoy it like I wanted to.
My Instagram pictures, man. I look like I want to hurt something.
Right. I want to punch something. But the 34 yards that he ran, right, and then he was gassed. We tapped the top of his helmet to get out. Was that when we didn't score? We didn't score off of that deal, right? We missed a field goal kick. I can't recall.
Yeah, I think we had already scored by the time he made that run. Yeah.
But we was up 7-0, right? But then he got the ball, what have you, and we ran all the way down with the 34-yard. Y'all help me out in the chat, man. I really appreciate you all, Dwayne, and also Gambino again. It's on my Facebook page, and Elijah over here on my YouTube, and Vern and Toot, man. Really appreciate you all. He said, Collier, you spot on. Toot Robinson, man, that's one of them MVPs in there, man. He said he's spot on, man.
I was about to say, let me jump on your Facebook to start hollering at the folks, man.
Yeah.
Not Facebook, but YouTube.
Yeah. So he didn't score. We didn't score off of that.
Right.
I would look at it like when they pull him off of that, I would have figured out a way. I do know that timeouts are very precious, but we went into like a heavy pursuit of pass. I think that you had the Bills at the moment on their heels because I don't think that the Bills are a great come from behind team. But when they got a little hope, when they got a little like, hey, we can stop them. You know what I mean? Because they couldn't stop that run.
You give the Browns hope, they're going to kill you, man. You give any team in this league hope, you playing against nothing but pros, man. If you give them hope and they think they can beat you, because see, there's a lot of other factors, just like we got a lot of factors behind the scenes. Like there's a lot of dudes that don't even believe in their coaching staff. They know that they limited. So they know, all right, man, are they doing it? They know what to do. And then they're going to shut it down because they know what they used to. We're creatures of habit. And our habits right now are just too fluff, man. We go out and try to beat you with speed and scheme, rather than just getting physical sometimes.
But I'm actually then to go back to the topic. Who are the Dallas Cowboys?
They are
forget the record, forget 6-6, forget 13-3, forget whatever record they are. Who are the Dallas Cowboys?
They the greatest show on turf type thing right now. They playing like they got Marshall Faulk from running back rather than Ezekiel Elliott.
Right.
They not playing like the Rams with Steven Jackson. They playing like the Rams with Marshall Faulk. That's why everybody calling for Pollard, because Pollard the only one that can run with a line that's pass blocking. You're the only one that can run with that. We need to get off the ball, and we not nasty no more, man. We are a very cute team. Teams can play us, and they can come out of it not worse for wear, and that don't make much sense to me. Like if you playing a team that you know is going to be on their assignment, why are you trying to trick them with reverses, man? Don't try to trick a team that's already on their game. If I watch the film, I ain't no football player, bro. If I'm watching the film well enough to figure out your patterns in 30 minutes, in 40 minutes, I figured out your pattern.
Right.
you might change the reverse, but everybody out there, watch what we do when we get to the 30. It's going to be a double reverse. Either he going to hand it, pitch it, or we going to fake it. But we going to run a reverse or some sort of reverse motion, right? Every time we get to the 30 in the last 4 or 5 games, at least twice a game, we do the same thing. We'll set it up early, and then we try to do it. Then we might hand it off. Like Pollard threw a fake one to Tavon.
Right.
Twice. Or we'll run out of it. Where Zeke is now trying to get a yard where we trying to trick the team into giving us the yard.
Right.
So we run a jet motion around, and we hope that slow up the back end of the defense. They don't care about that. We hoping that slow up the back end of the defense long enough to open up a hole for Zeke, so nobody's being blocked, because we're hoping that those 3 unblocked men are following that jet sweep, and they not following it. They don't care about that. They coming right down on Zeke, and Zeke is getting hit unblocked every time. Even on the play that he just got that 30 yards, he had to squeeze in there, and that's because there's always a free man running right at him. The safety is always running right back at him on the edge, or the Sam linebacker, or Will, depending on how they align. But that's every time. And the only time you have the back end of the defense unblocked is if you run in front side and you need your men pulling to that front side on a sweep or on a power to that left, right, or right, whatever way you're going. Then you might chop the back end and let them go free because you don't think they can get into play. But if I'm running to the right and everybody's blocking left. Even our tight
Right.
ends, we'll bring 3 tight ends in and crash down
Mm.
on the line,
Mm-hmm.
and the linebackers is free. So what they gonna do? They gonna see that they got crashed down in front of them. They gonna wait for Zeke to pop out on the right. They know where he going because they know where you just crashed down from. We not getting hats on hats, man. And our line, watch where we start the ball off when we run. If we started on the 30 running,
Right.
you would see 4 or 5 linemen still on the 30 or behind the 30 when we finish, looking down at Zeke. Before it would be bodies everywhere. Everybody on the ground somewhere and his body scattered. We don't see that no more, man. And nobody can tell me no different because I'm not asking nobody and I'm not going off of my memory of the game or nothing. I'm watching the film and watching them not do it. They not doing it.
Let me ask you this right quick, Okoye. My guy Jay Reese, man, he made another donation, man. He's like one of the sponsors for the day, man. Shout out to him, man. hey, y'all don't leave Jay Reese by himself. You know, we can have some other donations, and Jay Reese can make some fine ass barbecue too.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, not barbecue. He smoked that thing, man. Boy.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, man. He falling off the bone.
Texas, y'all could cook down there, man.
Yeah, made me gain about a couple pounds, man. I was looking poor when I first got here. He says, any guess who will replace Jason Garrett? Have you been following a lot of coaches in colleges and beyond?
Not really college coaches, no, but I heard Urban Meyer's name a couple times, and I like Urban Meyer. But, you know, who knows at this point? For me, it's not really about the coach as it is as much about his personality and his character. You know, when you got a guy, and I love Kellen Moore. I like him.
Right.
I think he's a smart guy. I think he's going to be one of those savants if he gets some time. And he needs experience and knows when to do what he does and when to turn it up, when to turn it off, right? He's great to play design, though, but he just gets too cute. So I love him. But when you have that type of personality running your offense, you need something to counterbalance that. You can't have a pushover over top of him. You got to be able to tell him, like, listen, I don't just want to run here. I want to run out of a big formation here, man. I want us firing off the ball a little bit. I think it's just like, you know, they might say run more, but they let him decide what type of runs we running and what formations we running out of. That has to be what it is because we wasn't doing this even last year. Right. We wasn't even doing it last year. So we were firing off the ball somewhat last year, but we were injured on the line. Now we not injured as much. Well, Connor just went out with a knee injury.
Yeah, he gone for the rest of the year.
But we weren't injured up until that point that bad. We were dinged up here and there, but we weren't. We haven't fired off the ball all year.
Well, since you're gonna take it there, talk about him. Number 72. Hey, I ain't gonna say anything, but I want you to say something though. Talk about it then.
Yeah. Just watch it, man. It feel like I don't like to pick on people, but
pick on him, man. You live like 95, baby.
It feel like I'm picking on him when I say it because I know he. And it might be Fredericks though, but the other half of that, it could definitely be the play calling or the way we designed our offense now. Because Fredericks and all the rest of those guys, even Zach Martin don't look right. I see Zach Martin getting pushed in the backfield. I just watched that dude Sweat in the Detroit game. He took Tyron Smith and put him right in Dak's lap. Like I'm seeing that a lot because we're always taking these maulers and moving backwards. They plan to get hit. They getting hit in the mouth all day. When you're firing off the ball. Maybe Fredericks is still who Fredericks used to be, but he's not asked to play like the old Fredericks. They're not asked to maul and hit people in their shins and their hips and knock dudes off the ball like they used to. But when you're doing that, that helps you with the pass rush. Why? Because the defensive line is hurt. They don't feel like rushing in there no more, and they don't know what you're doing. So they're not firing off the ball because they're preparing to get hit rather than hitting you. They're preparing. You played football before, man. It's a lot easier to play a team when I'm running. If I don't care if you're 350 pounds, if you say, hey, I'm 230. If you say, hey, go run into that man. If that man running into me too, that's a problem. You know, that's a problem. You don't want to play Oklahoma drill with a dude that big that's running right at you. But if he gonna stand there and let me hit him in his mouth, I'll do that all day. I'm gonna chop him up. I'm gonna hurt him. You know, that's me hitting you. So we're not asked to do that. I know I keep saying that, but that's how important it is because that if you start off that way in the end of games, that's when Zeke breaking over and big runs. That's when you get in play action passes. And even when we run on the edge and we're running past corners. Do you remember when Brandon Jacobs used to run around the corner?
Oh man, don't talk
you remember
to me
that?
About him.
What
man.
do you do? He runs around the corner and he is looking for contact with a DB. Why? Because he wants to hurt them. Because that's offensive. That's like playing attack offense. You're attacking defense. You're not waiting for them to hit you. You hitting them. And when I go play action over there or when I run over there the next time, he's going to make a business decision or he's hurting. So now I can attack him with my wide receiver.
True.
Now Amari Cooper can get off the press because he's feeling that. I just made him feel me. But when everything is just run and stop me from passing the ball, hit Dak and just run, press, and play physical against us, we can get out physical because we're waiting for people to bring us to contact.
Speaking of physicality, man, we didn't harped on this offense enough. Enough of this offense. I had made a post earlier. Okoye, man, about philosophies, basically. Always talking about the theory of the mind. We have Chris Richard and we have Rob Marinelli. And in that post, I said, hey, stop talking about Chris Richard as the defensive coordinator, because when you go to DallasCowboys.com, you look up coaching staff, and you will see that Rob Marinelli is the defensive coordinator. And I said I would not go there, but if Chris Richard is the defensive coordinator, then the Dallas Cowboys got a bigger concern, a bigger issue. You see what I'm saying? But I'm not going to go there. So what I said is basically is that you got two different philosophies. Yes, if he's the defensive front line coach, Rob Marinelli, and Chris Richard is the defensive back coach.
Preach it.
My thing is, even in the good book, it says you can't have two masters because you know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about, Corey.
You know it.
You can't have two masters because you will do more for one and you will sully or denigrate the other, and then you will always pitch the two, and the one voice is going to be louder than the other. So I'm always with the belief, if this is my team, if this is my car, then I can do whatever I want to do with my car. If I want to put some rims on, I put some rims on it. If I want to drop it off at 3 o'clock in the morning, I can do that.
You're right.
So what is the issue with this defense? Talk to me, talk to the nation. Let everybody know about this defense.
We play like a sandwich defense. So what I mean by that is we fire off the ball with our defensive line. So and Rob Marinelli is running that. We fire off the ball with our defensive line, and we don't want to give up anything deep, so we play off. So everything that's thrown against us is within 5 to 10 yards. They drop it right in the middle of this defense, underneath our linebackers and behind our defensive line. That's where you eat with us. That's why we get killed on screens, and that's why we get killed on big running plays too, because our linebackers' mindset is get back. We don't use them. Honestly, man, if you look at all of our defenders, most of them are playing out of position. We are not honest. We're not a 4-3 team. We're more of a hybrid team with the guys that we have in here because we have a bunch of guys that could do a bunch of different things.
Let me ask you this before you get into that topic.
Go ahead.
Why do we create more pressure somehow when we only have when we rush 3 or when we only have 4 at the line and not having that extra guy inside? Or also, can you explain, just like a double question here, can you explain the difference between, and I'm gonna sound like I don't even know what a cover 2 is. If I'm first time ever listening to cover 2, can you explain the difference between a cover 2 and a cover 3? Hold on right quick. Oh, you looking for Chase? Let me find Chase for my daughter right quick and just break that down to the nation, man. Shout out to Chase and Sky.
You better find Chase.
I gotta find Chase, and let me see if I can edit this. But go ahead and break it down to the nation.
Well, as you already know, like with cover 2, you can run a soft cover 2 or you can run a tight cover 2. With cover 2, you want 2 high safeties and you have 2 corners playing underneath. You guys already know what cover 2 is, I'm pretty sure. But you got 2 corners playing underneath. There's nothing wrong with cover 2. It's something wrong with cover 2 with free releases, though. We play cover 2, but we'll play where we're giving you a free release every time. So we allow wide receivers to freely run to their spots, and we're not rerouting them. So if you're not rerouting those wide receivers, you're giving them easy looks where that quarterback pre-snap already knows where he wants to go with the ball, and he's allowed to go there with the ball because there's nothing else there's nothing stopping him from doing it. Our pass rush can be great, but if you're rushing or blitzing from 5 yards off the ball, it don't matter how good your pass rush is. Oh, that's what you talk about?
I found him, man. I'm finna give her Chase and Sky, so I'll be right back.
Go ahead, do you think?
Come on.
But when you shout out the baby girl, but when you make pressure or you get pressure on a quarterback and your defenders are playing 5-6 yards off the ball, they're gonna get thrown underneath all day. So like you said, who that meticulous cowboy? No press coverage. When you watch Dak, when he struggles, is because he's getting sacked because teams are making him hold the ball because they're pressing us at the line of scrimmage across the board, even the tight end. Sometimes the running back they press it. So they force us to make him hold the ball and go through progressions because he can't go where he wants to go on his first look. If you do the same thing to other teams, it's a no-brainer. But the reason we don't do it is because at the end of the day, we don't want to give up the big play. And we think that we will. I don't know why, but we think we will. So we play off and we play that soft coverage. But I don't know if that's Rob Marinelli or if it's Chris Richard. But if y'all want to see what the defense looks like when it's ran correctly to cover 3 anyway, it don't matter if it's cover 2 or cover 3. But if you want to see the cover 3 run correctly, watch San Fran and watch the Seattle Seahawks right now. Ken Norton is running the cover 3 the way LOB ran it. And so is San Fran. When you watch the San Fran versus Seattle game, you can see it real clear, man. They pressing across the board, and they got that dude, Quandre Diggs. They got him slashing all over the place like we should have Woods slashing all over the place or Heath. But the way we run it is too soft because we allow you to get to your spots. If you allow wide receivers to get to their spots and you're playing zone, it's easy to get to that window. They can find all the soft spots they want all day because we got Cheeto playing 15 yards off the ball every time. And then when we actually do put them in press our man, no wonder why we get beat in press and man. Not because we just bad at it. It's because we don't do it. You are what you habitually do. And if you practice press, you're going to be good at press. If you're not practicing press, if you practicing playing off, and everybody, even Jalen and those guys, you know when we blitzing. Why? Because Jalen is coming. He's standing for it. If you go, even if you're not blitzing, I watched the Patriots do this to us all day. They would bring Jamie Collins and Hightower down to the line of scrimmage, and it looked like 5-man rush, 3 men plus the 2 outside linebackers, right? But those linebackers are just playing contain. They just running down to get, but you know who's still kicking out and firing out?
Who that?
Collins and Smith. They still kicking out and firing out. You know why? Because there's still 2 guys standing there, whether they coming or not. We still got to account for them. So they'll take 2 steps in and they'll stop. And those dudes kick out, and that 3-man rush is 3-on-3. That's why they were still getting there with a 3-man rush, because the tackles are irrelevant. They're not blocking. They're not helping out on inside because they had to kick out to account for those 2 linebackers outside. So now it's just the guard, the center, and a running back blocking. 3 men. That's it.
So I heard you break down the 49ers. I didn't know they run a cover 3 scheme. I didn't know that.
Dude, Salah and Ken Norton were both on that LOB staff. And Salah, and they run it the way, that's what we was expecting from Chris Richard when he got here.
But he just him by himself. Yeah. You got to have influence, man.
But if you want to see what our defense should look like, and our defense is primed to play that way, we even have our own Jadeveon Clowney type in D-Law, a hustle guy that you can move around and do whatever you want with him, right? We got that guy. And then we got a Michael Bennett type dude. We got Quinn that can run off the edge. We have a team that should be playing, honestly, a 3-4 type of deal because we got a lot of athleticism in a linebacker style position. Like Quinn played outside linebacker. D-Law is a dude that can play either 3-4 D end or outside line. He can do it all. Like you can move him almost anywhere other than nose guard, and he can do it. But I'm not even the guy that says, like, look, let's teach these guys a different position. Let's blow it up like a Parcells did, right? No, you don't need to do that. Just put these dudes in position to disguise things and get a little more creative with it, or get more. If you're going to play vanilla, be aggressively vanilla, meaning like, all right, look, you're going to know what we're doing, but we're going to make you feel it when you do it. So if you're going to beat us, it's going to be you're going to get beat up at the line of scrimmage. And when you get off that press, he might fit that thing in the window, but we got Water Boy Bobby Boucher coming over the top to smack you in your mouth, or Woods to come smack you. We don't play like that, man.
So the 49ers in the Seattle Seahawks, do they play a lot of man, or do they drop back in their zone?
They mix it up. They probably play more man than we do, but
we play tons of man.
The games where we play man, we actually play better. When we playing man, we play better. When we played the Patriots, we were playing man most of that game. Yeah. When we played the Saints, we were playing man most of that game. So when we play man, we actually play better anyway. But they mix it up. They play cover 3 or man. It don't really matter what you in. You can still press and play cover 3. It don't matter. You can still press and force that quarterback to, even if you're going to be at the line and you playing soft at the line and you just going to look like you pressing, you're going to shadow them or trail technique them, whatever, or bail on them. At least show that you're taking away everything short initially. So show them that you're at the line of scrimmage so that quarterback cannot get a clear hot read. He can't see like, hey, I want to go to the left. But the way we play, Cheeto will be back there. Before the play start, you see Byron only know how to press. So Byron is always pressing, and on the slot on the backside, we pressing. If you a quarterback and you see my tight end got somebody over top of him, he got LV over top of him, it's going to take him a couple seconds to get open. these two dudes are getting pressed. Where I'm looking for the hot route, I'm looking front side. I'm like, okay,
Right.
over here, Tito's off the ball, so we gonna throw it underneath him somewhere. That's where we going with the ball.
Well, let me
Now,
ask you this. Because we can break down the fundamentals of those players. But do you keep Chris Richard? Do you keep a Rob Marinelli? Or do you just go ahead and ask both of them and maybe pick up one of these hot defensive coordinators that's out there now? Because if you're going to clean, or you wait for whoever you hire and let them pick out their team, you see, as it relates to their head coach.
I think Jerry Ben, he just reestablished it too. He said, these coaches are here at my leisure. Coach is. He ain't say the coach. So I don't think he's going to bring in a coach that he's going to allow to blow this team up. He thinks that his decisions have been the best, and what Jerry's not going to do, not easily anyway, is admit that he's dead wrong. He don't even want to admit he's wrong with Jason Garrett, because anybody else would have fired his ass by now. So the only reason you don't fire a guy like Garrett the way he's coaching right now is because certain decisions he may or may not be making, maybe because you got your hand up his ass. Excuse my French, but that's real shit. So I can't fire you, Law, if I say, Law, don't talk about Green Bay, and you don't talk about Green Bay, and then I know I'm the one that told you not to talk about it, but everybody complain that you don't talk about certain things or you don't attack certain topics, right? But I told you not to talk about it. I know that, so I can't penalize you for it. See what I'm saying? Right. So I think part of the reason that Jerry's not as quick to throw Jason under the bus is.
I think I lost your audio right quick. We'll let you feed back in. Collier, he was talking about the firing or not firing. And let me know if you guys are still able to hear me, see me. Give me a thumbs up or something. I got a Collier media. He's frozen in space right now. Let me know. Give me a thumbs up or something. Let me know if you all are still able to hear me. Collier, see if you can reconnect back online. He was saying that the reason why, and they got his face stuck in a weird way as well. All right, so funny face. Come on, Collier, man. Shout out to Collier Media, man. There you go, bro. You back?
Oh, yeah, I've been here. I've been here the whole time.
No. Yeah, shut off on your end.
I can hear you talking the whole time.
Yeah. The audio had killed you on your end.
Oh, yeah, I'm sitting here listening to. I'm looking at my face, though, on the screen. I'm like, I look high as hell right there.
Hey, man, it's all fun. It's all fun. So you was talking about Jason Garrett and the reason why not Jimmy Johnson. See, I even stuck on Jimmy Johnson. The reason why Jerry Jones won't fire Jason Garrett, his son. You're talking around those parameters, man. Jay Reese said, "Look, you didn't pay the internet bill, man. Them bills still whooping us, huh?"
Give me that $2, Jay Reese, man. I can pay that shit, man. I don't got enough food stamps.
Yeah. Hey, what's your PayPal link, bro?
Right. Give me that $2, Jay Reese.
I'm gonna post your PayPal link and your Cash App link at the end of this video in the description box, bro.
I don't know what that's about. I got some bandwidth. I don't know what's up.
No, it's just Philly hating on you. You know how it is. Philly, man.
Somebody over here messing. Lord Brunson probably over here messing with my internet.
Yes, indeed. I can't wait to talk to Lord Brunson. Bring him back on the show when it's Philly week.
He was talking shit the other day too. Man.
Oh my goodness, man. He got a lot of longitude and latitude to talk about though, because we're sitting there just like when I saw the Seattle Seahawks play against the Eagles. The Seattle did everything in life to give them that game. You saw that? And they still couldn't beat them. And I looked at it and I said, God dog it. I said, okay, as long as we win it, and we fool around, laid 2 eggs in a row, and it just give the Eagles so much life. They running around here thinking that they don't want a Super Bowl.
Momentum, man. Momentum. We play like we trying not to lose. We don't play like we trying to kill nothing, man. I can say that enough, but even like you said, defensively, we was talking about Jerry Jones not coming in and not bringing in another coach that'll blow this team up.
Right.
I don't think he'll ever put up nobody that's gonna come out and undermine what he's already put together, because he looks at himself as a GM and he's proud of his work, both from the player perspective and coach's perspective. So unless he don't like you, unless you fall out of favor with him, you ain't going nowhere. And that's whoever the coach is. So whoever comes in, it's going to be a tough spot, because your negotiation has, and that's what I say about Jason too. If I'm gonna get fired, I'm gonna get fired doing shit my way. So you might be the decision maker when we have practice. You tell me what to do. Anywhere else, you might tell me what to do. But when we in that game, I can't hear that bat phone, bro. I didn't know that phone was ringing, Jerry. I didn't know you was calling me, man. I couldn't hear you in my headset, Jerry. I'm gonna do what I want to do on that sideline. because I'm the one that's going to get blamed for it. So I'm going to get up and do what I got to do to win. And that's how you get Jerry to listen to you. That's how Parcells had a relationship with Jerry, better relationship with Jerry, because he's going to do what he wants. You might not like it all the time. You might come down from the booth and stand on the sideline pissed off that I ain't listen to what you said, but at least I'm doing what I think is best to win. And that's what you got to do as a coach. And whoever comes in here has to have that approach. Otherwise, we may as well keep Jason Garrett. If you're going to let him put his hand up,
they're going to have that approach because Jerry, look, one thing about people with money. It's hard to tell people that make $80,000 a year what to do. You know what I mean? It's hard to tell people that make $150,000. Some people that it's hard to tell them what to do when they make $40,000. So Jerry Wayne Jones, if you making the billions of dollars, nobody can tell him what to do. And the only person that I can look at this thing, and I looked at the coaching list and these sorts, the most passive person out of everybody in that list is McDaniels, the kid up there in New England land. And I can't even stand him, but hey, he's going to be the guy.
But that's my point. If you're going to bring in another passive dude that's going to be undermined by you, right? Then I don't want him. I'd rather keep Jason Garrett. I'm not going to lie to you, because you already know the devil you know is better than the one you don't. So at the end of the day, if you're going to allow a coach to come in here and do this thing right, then do it. Then go ahead and give it to Garrett. If you're just going to say, hey, listen, you're going to do it. If you're really coaching the team through a puppet, you got the best puppet in the world to do that with. Why are you going to change that up? You know? So if that's not the case, I mean, I'm not going to be happy, but what are we going to do other than keep him? Because if you're not going to allow him to change his staff, he like Parcells said, you want me to cook, but you don't want me to buy none of the groceries. Like, that don't make much sense, man.
You gotta let me do this thing all the way. Yeah. But we know the temperaments of Jason Garrett, right? I mean, he's the second winningest coach of the Dallas Cowboys franchise, and on top of that, he had the longest tenure, probably outside of Bill Belichick. He probably like the second longest tenured out there. But I can say this though. It's time to change, man. It's just time to change, man. I'm just tired of the memes, man. I'm tired of and look.
And we keep putting sacrificial lambs up there to make it seem like it's their fault. Like even with Linehan, man. I'm not saying he shouldn't have been fired. I didn't like Linehan very much, but every year it's never Garrett. It was Dez Bryant. It was Cole Beasley. It's whoever.
It was just the Ryan brothers. It was the offensive court. It was the offensive. What's that guy that's over there?
Phillips.
Yeah, Wade Phillips.
Campo. It's always somebody other than Jason Garrett. And I'm done, man. Too many excuses. Too many scapegoats. Get him out of here. DeMarcus Ware, like he said in DJ Cobbs, DeMarcus Ware. Yeah, it's always somebody that's just not cutting it no more, man. We not scheme, but that shows you how much we rely on these players' talent, man. When you're we're in the top of the league, in the top 5 in the league in pressures this year. Wow. When you're not pressing, that tell you something right there. If we get that much pressure, common sense will tell you make a quarterback hold on to the ball longer. That means press them, because they're almost getting there, and you playing 5 yards off the ball, and they still almost getting there. Wow. When Jalen blitz, we either get a sack or we get a hell of a lot of pressure when he does it. But what we do, we say, Jalen, you chase wide receivers and running.
I want you to look at one play when you get a chance, of course. Yeah, you probably can break it down and let everybody know. It was a play with Josh Allen stepped back. He stopped back. He was in the shotgun, and he just literally stopped. Jalen stopped too. You see, Jalen stopped like a deer in the headlights. I'm like, Jalen, the quarterback is right there. All he had to do is continue to shoot through that gap and knock that quarterback out of his mind. But
he did that against Tom Brady. He had him. He got a pressure on that play, and it was an incomplete pass. But it would have been a sack if he did just went down there. He just didn't do it. He kind of stutter step, and then at the end of it, he's like, "Oh, I can get him," and then he ran after him. But
look! I was talking about Ezekiel Elliott a couple of weeks ago. It's time for me to start talking about Jalen. I think that man. If he wasn't asking for the money, I don't think we should have paid him the money at this point. If he wasn't, was he asking for the money?
It's really about the money, though, Law. It's not the money.
You think he's playing different now that he got paid? You think he's playing up to the level he's supposed to be playing at?
Let me ask you, right? Like, if you know better, you do better, right?
True.
Okay, so if you watch Jalen and you watch him in college, what were the highlights? His highlights were sideline to sideline. We use him like that sometimes, right? But that's only one aspect of his game. He's not a coverage linebacker. He ain't a dude running around getting a bunch of interceptions. He can cover,
Yeah.
but that's not what he does. Jalen is a hitter, and he's a pass rusher. I watched film of him kill everybody on his offensive line individually, beat them all. You can't block the dude. I did a highlight video when I said pay him. Him and Law rushing side by side. They doing the exact same pass rush move simultaneously. Like it looked like a robot. That's how you know Rod Marinelli's coaching that into them real good. But he got pass rush moves on top of pass rush moves. Why is Jalen only relegated to running and chasing wide receivers and running backs?
That I don't know.
Jalen should be coming after quarterbacks. We should be moving him around like Anthony Barr, bro. Move him and put him.
But you do know that touchdown, and I want you to go back and look at it. The one that Cole Beasley caught. There was
over Jalen Higgs.
It was over Jalen. He hesitated again. I don't. You know, in that cover too, he's supposed to be that linebacker on the Tampa too. I meant to say in the Tampa, he's supposed to do this.
But when you know where my linebacker
just like this stands right here and drop back into that zone. Did he do that? But when you know
where my linebacker going to be every time, you can game him all the time. That's why you say we giving up rushing yards. If he's dropping back in coverage, if his job is to get back into wide receivers passing lanes almost every play, he's thinking going backwards more so than he's thinking coming forward. LVE is the same way. Y'all say LVE regressed because LVE when he comes forward, he an animal. He a man. Like LVE is built like TJ Watt. And we got this dude playing nothing but space. Now he can do it, but that would be like saying TJ Watt and Bobby Wagner. What we want you guys doing is chasing wide receivers. You got two killers and you want them chasing wide receivers every play. That is stupid. You need to free those dudes up, free up their responsibility. They might be able to play man in the backfield. Say, look, we playing zone back here, but you play on this running back. So that way your eyes is in the backfield. If he running the ball, you on that shit. Right. If he coming out, hey, peel off and chase that. But that's what they should be cut loose a little bit more often than they have been. And we need to change our formations. We in a nickel all day, and it's the same nickel look. It's a nickel with 4 men down. You got D-Law who making plays 20 yards up the field. That lets you know D-Law got wheels. We don't have to rush D-Law every play. You don't got to rush him because he's standing there. Let him cover sometimes. Let him drop back in zone. Zone blitz. Do things differently. We do the same shit.
See, you're talking about some universal scheme changes that Rob Marinelli would never agree to. Never, ever.
Of course not. But I think it's time for Marinelli. I like Rob Marinelli. I do, but I think it's either time for him to be the defensive line coach or just go ahead and take a back seat, bro. Let's get out.
Because you know what he's gonna say? I want my guys to get off.
Yeah, but we playing that same game, and we do what he wants you to do well.
Get off. He wants you to get off, especially front four. Get off.
Chase the ball, tackle the football. Oh yeah, we chase and rally to the football like nobody business. But we play like young, wild retards, man. Excuse me, not even retards. We play like young, wild, slow dudes, man. Because at the end of the day, Jalen and those, they all jump in the wrong gaps consistently.
Oh my goodness.
And that's because that just let me know you don't know where you're supposed to be. You playing off of athleticism only, and you going off the first thing you see. But what are you keying in on? You'll see Jalen and LVE both keying on a jet sweep. Why are the two middle linebackers? Y'all both playing middle in the nickel. Yeah. You got safeties on the edge.
Thank you. You
got a safety on one edge, and you got a Sam on the other, or you got a defensive end on one edge and a safety on the opposite edge.
Right.
Why am I watching the jet sweep? I need to be watching what's coming right in front of me. The same way the Rams got us. We're moving around to try to make sure they can cheat up on those sweeps. Like the outside rushes are killing us.
Right.
They're running right up the middle on us.
People running right good.
They running right at them. Like,
hey, before I probably had to cut this thing short right quick. But before we do that, can you just give the Cowboy Nation the scouting report on the team that we about to play in a few days? Chicago. They got a quarterback. Let me just give this out. They got a quarterback that can run, who can pass. He's not gonna throw it deep, but they do have a running back who's nasty, Montgomery, and they got a Tariq Cohen who can go to 0 to 100 real quick. So break down the scouting report for the Chicago.
It's a team that athletically and talent wise we should destroy, but And I say that because, if your talent is mainly in the backfield, we should destroy a team like that with the type of talent that we got up front. Oh, yeah. Like our front four is our strength, our linebacker core is our strength. We were talking about our safeties not being right. But it's in this year, we ain't been giving them no big plays this year. So the secondary is actually was right with this team right now.
Right.
It's not hard to not give up big plays when you got Byron Preston. He's throwing off the timing on that side.
Right.
And on the front side, you got Cheeto playing 15 yards off the ball. You ain't throwing nothing deep over there. So at the end of the day, it's hard to throw the ball over our heads right now. So in Chicago, it's feast or famine with them. They either go and drudge you to death with their running backs. They try to cheat Tariq Cohen out, and use him in a lot of creative ways. But Mitch Trubinsky is not consistent. But
can he close his eyes and throw it towards Cheeto Awuzie on Robinson versus Cheeto Awuzie? Can he do that?
And they just not using Cheeto right, man.
Right.
I like that sack that Jordan Lewis got, but that should be where Cheeto is right there, man. He should be coming forward, playing in the backfield, playing near the line of scrimmage, and disrupting things in the line of scrimmage, man. That's where he needs to be. So my breakdown will be out for the Chicago game coming up. I will do actual film for him. But right now, if we're not going to come in that game physical, we coming there with this pretty cute stuff again, man. I think it's going to be another loss, man. I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm not preaching doom and gloom, but their team, they dismantled the Rams with the same scheme that we run, and we run a similar scheme to Sean McVay. And they dismantled the Rams last year because those timing routes, they going to throw your timing off because they two corners, Amukamara and Fuller. That's what they do. They press. They're gonna throw your timing off. You can beat them deep.
Right.
Like the Detroit was beating them deep. You can beat them deep, but you gotta stand back there and deliver it deep. Now you can beat them deep, but if you're going for anything quick, you will be holding that ball, and Khalil Mack will be coming. That's how they play. They try to force you to hold the ball so that they can get their Hicks and Mack coming, man. So Raekwon Smith a beast too. So at the end of the day, if we come out cute, they don't have to come out of 3-4 to play us, man. That's why I like the 3-4. They stick with the 3-4 the entire game. So they ain't got to come out of that to play us. So it's gonna be a tight one, man. But I just hope that we come and get physical with a physical team, a physical defense. If you don't play them physical, you got a problem.
Yes, indeed, man. Ricoye, man, I really appreciate you for tuning in, man, to the nation. I think my little daughter, Lauren, she's going to take over, man. She's going to take over for this thing one day. I'm telling everybody right now, who's the lady that's out there that be trying to do a little talking commentary and all this stuff?
JoJo.
So they gotta watch out because she already.
It's going to be in her blood.
Yes, this one already know what a front four is. She already know what defensive responsibilities are. You see what I'm saying? But I really appreciate you, man. Tell everybody where to follow you at, man, and where they can find your content and all that good stuff.
Okoye Media, man. Check it out on YouTube at AKOYE Media on YouTube. I do primarily do football breakdowns, just like my OG here, man. Put me on. And then also you can catch me at that same title anywhere, man. If you guys want to support the channel, it's patreon.com/Okoye.
Right.
And for that, I give out shout outs for people who jump on and donate or whatever. And then on top of that, you guys can suggest what type of breakdowns I do as well. Woo. So if you suggest a breakdown, it's only $10. You put that up there and I'll go ahead and break down what you ask, man. If I get enough of people asking for it, I'll do it. But just check it out. But I appreciate you having me on, bro.
Man, it's a pleasure, man.
Hey, my frustration is just like yours. Don't think we hate. It ain't no hate. Ain't no emotion in it other than me as a fan telling you with some passion what I'm seeing. But I don't go out and make up a narrative and try to prove it. I go out and watch it, and then I tell you what I see, and then I show it to you. So we prove it with the film around here. You know what I mean? Yeah, so we on the same page with it, man.
Yeah,
I got you.
Man, that's Okoye Media, guys. If you're not following his content and his channel and his page, I don't know what you're doing, especially as a diehard Cowboy fan. Let's continue to grind. Let's continue to find a way to find these victories because we still want these 4 more victories. You got to get it because at the beginning of the year, I said that this team was going to be 10-6, so we can't lose no more. Law don't want to be wrong.
He did say.
I said 10-6.
You said it. I thought you was crazy. I said 13-3. I was like,
somebody said 19-0. I was like, whoa.
Man, the Bills, the only team that have whooped our ass so far.
The only team, and they had the rest.
We didn't have a shot.
We didn't have a shot, man. We were like, But hey, coaching got to get his thing together. Stephen Jones believed that they can win 4 more games. Shout Shout out to Stephen Jones and that Johnny Walker Blue, man. But it is what it is, Cowboy Nation. Shout out to those who made donations. Thank those who subscribed to the membership services that Law Nation got all of a sudden from YouTube. Boy, I'm telling you, I really appreciate it. There's some behind the scenes stuff there, hidden interviews. I got an interview with Jay Novacek and beyond. So you gotta check it out, man, on the membership services, man. Really appreciate you all. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's jam on out.
Salute to Law.
Yeah. Salute to you, man. You the man, boy. You the man.
And likewise, man. I'm trying to be like you when I grow up.
Oh, my goodness, man. Come on, bro.
You're like, I got the membership service.
Hey. That last film breakdown you did, boy.
What the
Minnesota.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Oh no, not that one.
There's Eco Elliott one.
No, the Patriots, my bad, but the Patriots.
Oh yeah.
Y'all check that out, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Get on out of here, man. Let me get this outro right here. There y'all go. There she. All right, Cowboy Nation. And remember, you listening
to Lawrence
Thomas.